it's already pretty well established that Duolingo is not sufficient for learning a language. As such, it's better used as one tool among many as opposed to your sole method of language learning. It's also pretty well known that the quality of Duolingo varies by language. Their Spanish course is apparently pretty good, but not all Duolingo courses are created equal. On the other hand, Duolingo has a really wide variety of languages, many of which don't have a lot of resources. So if you're an English speaker and you're learning something like Spanish, French, or German, you have a lot of alternatives. But what if you're trying to learn Hawaiian, or Zulu, or Scottish Gaelic? So I guess my question is, how effective is Duolingo as a starting point for learning a language? With the understanding that it's not sufficient for fluency, can it be used to gain a foundation in a new language? So I decided to test it out. I've used Duolingo before, mainly for German and Welsh, as well as to practice my already existing French skills. When I last quit using it, I was in the Pearl League and had a 40-something day streak. So the app itself is familiar to me, and I've seen what it's like in several different languages. But I've never used it as my only tool for learning a language. Even when I recently used it for Welsh, which was mainly just for fun and out of curiosity rather than a serious attempt to learn the language, I did outside reading, watched YouTube videos, and generally tried not to rely solely on Duolingo. But now I'm curious about what it would be like if I did. For this, I picked Czech. I wanted to pick a language that I haven't studied before and that isn't too closely related to the ones that I speak. In other words, not a Romance language or a Germanic language. However, I also wanted to avoid languages like Mandarin, Japanese, and Arabic, which are notoriously difficult for English speakers to learn. I have serious doubts that the Duolingo method would work very well for teaching tones, unfamiliar writing systems, etc. I know very little about Czech going into this. I know that it's part of the West Slavic language family, closely related to Slovakian and Polish. I know that it's written in the Latin alphabet and has case marking on nouns. I also know it's a Category 3 language according to the Foreign Service Institute, meaning that it has significant differences from English and takes about 44 weeks for students in their intensive language courses to learn. This is the same category as languages like Greek, Russian, and Hindi. Other than that, I'm basically going in blind. So here's the plan. On the day this video is posted, I'm going to start the Czech course on Duolingo. I'll try to maintain as long of a streak as possible. Since I'm using the free version, my goal will be to play until I'm out of hearts each day. I'll also avoid using any outside resources. This isn't something that I'd recommend if you're trying to learn a language. It's because I want to see how far Duolingo alone can take me. I'll post a new video every week updating you on my progress with Duolingo Czech, how far I've gotten into the course, and what my feelings are as far as how it's going. After a certain period of time, maybe a month or two, I'll use an online test to see how much I've learned. At that point, I'll also start using outside resources to learn more about the grammar, etc., and I'll talk about whether I was able to accurately figure it out through the Duolingo method, which is mostly based on translation and doesn't explicitly teach grammar. I'm really curious to see whether this will work and how far it will get me.